Hi all, in this video we want to give you a quick rundown of what's coming in Chapter 2 of Age of War. The latest dev stream has given us an overview of what to expect for the next chapter, and what's even better, we can even check it out ourselves as it's now available on the public beta clients for PC. One thing is for sure, there's a lot of changes coming. We'll briefly touch base on the highlights and biggest changes, but we'll also follow up on individual topics with more dedicated guides later on. Now, where to begin? The biggest and most anticipated feature of Chapter 2 is a new revamped Purge system. Say goodbye to filling up your Purge meter and getting purged at any time. The new Purge system lets you decide when to get purged, and how badly. Purges are also no longer depending on where you have built. You can get purged wherever you have built on the map. There's only one condition. You need to provide the attackers with a valid path to reach your treasure room. If the purge can't reach your coffer by breaking into your base, it's simply not possible to trigger. If the attackers steal enough treasures from you, you lose, but if you fend off enough of them, you will have a chance to defeat their boss and steal some loot from their operating base. There might even be thralls and a new type of vendor that sells purge-related items. Speaking of operating base, once a purge is triggered, attackers will start setting up a camp close to your base in preparation for the attack. The purge attacks can include randomized events, so you might not experience the same purge twice, even if you trigger it from the same location. Well, that is the new purge in a nutshell. We'll bring you more details once we have time to properly test it ourselves. Now, what else is new? As we said before, there is a lot of changes. Some you might love, some you might hate. Let's talk about legendaries, or legendary chests to be more precise. There will no longer be any legendary chests in the world. We guess this will come as a shock for some, as we didn't expect it either. From now on, you will only be able to find legendary chests at the end of dungeons. So we hope you're in for a lot of dungeon runs on repeat. Speaking of dungeons have also seen a slight overhaul. Loot has been tweaked to be more interesting, and you'll even discover that some dungeons have some new things or bosses added to them, including traps and smaller puzzles. That brings us to loot. Chapter 2 also sees the long-promised loot overhaul from chests and NPCs in the world. Loot will be more worthwhile, no more stones and fiber, and also make more sense in terms of what you find where, like food near a cook or near a blacksmith. You can now also find interactable items in camps, similar to what you might know from the Isle of Sipta. We haven't had time to check it out yet, but we guess you either learn new recipes or pick up some items. Recipes. There's also a huge change coming to the library of esoteric artifacts and the Voidforge on Sipta. From now on, recipes you get in exchange for fragments of power will no longer grant you a random duplicate. You'll now apparently get one you don't have for every exchange. There are also several combat and balance changes. Let's touch base on the biggest ones. You can now change direction a bit while swinging your weapons and reorientate yourself to actually hit your target. We really love this small tweak as it will make combat a little bit more fluid and satisfying. Trebuchets are now faster to build. Avatars last longer but deal less damage. And here's another shocker for you. God bubbles have been entirely removed from the game. Let's talk about some highlights from the Bazaar and Battle Pass. It looks like we can expect at least 2 new building sets. One being Pyramids, which quite frankly is awesome. And the other one is a set to recreate ruined buildings. We'll also see some new pets and pet skins. Cobra pets are seemingly in the base game, which is exciting. There's also a giant snake we can't spawn yet, so a battle pass or bazaar related item. Same goes for a very cool looking polar bear, scorpion and elephant skin. Last but not least, while not functional in game yet, we can see camel saddles in the admin panel. So it seems what most of us had already guessed is now finally confirmed. Finally, loads of treasure related placeables can be found in the admin panel. Once again, battle pass or bazaar related items, so decorating your most precious room seems to be high on this chapter's priority list. And that's it for our brief summary of some of the new stuff and changes that are coming in chapter 2 and which are now available to test on the public beta client. There's a lot more to discover, so we can't wait to hear what you think of all of it. Let us know in the comments.